Suddenly this sector was said, oh, I am being wasted. The other sector said, I am being wasted. My rights, his rights, your rights. And everybody forgot that we all have a joint right of living and making a great place out of wherever we are. And unfortunately, today, had Lebanon been where it is 20 years ago, I think it would have been a much greater country than what you see today. And I think, even the people now are reviewing their conditions, reviewing their thinking. And we're still at loss of understanding how and why did we hate each other 20 years ago.
Why did that happen, really? Yeah. How optimistic are you, Akram, about Bahrain? We have seen some incidents that have upset us, and it's clashes in schools, for instance, and last night, and by last night I mean the 7th of March, there were some incidents among young people. And do you feel that this could escalate, and if it escalates, it's really dangerous?
Well, I am confident that in Bahrain, I hope, and I am sure, I am definitely positive that there is a lot of wise people around, and in all sectors and all sections and all ethnic groups and all religious groups that understand that what's happening is definitely not right, in my opinion. You have a claim, who doesn't have a problem? And life is about nothing else but about progressively changing your demands from life. And it's good. There's nothing wrong with that, because the more you achieve, the more you want. And the success and total supremacy is only built by people achieving more and wanting to achieve more all the time. I think these isolated incidents, in my opinion, are extremely dangerous. I think they should be immediately contained. I think, but they can only be contained if we eliminate the reason for them, and that is to stop talking and stop throwing slogans that are irresponsible on all sides. We should all sit down together and say, there is only one slogan, it's called Bahrain, and it's the love for a country that will give us a lot if we give it. But if we start taking away from it, each one in his own little segment, in his own little way, in his own little life, I think he'll destroy the place and destroy himself.
I like the word that you said, which basically means we all have demands. And people who gathered at the roundabout initially started holding banners, asking for reforms, asking for demands to be met. And everyone sympathized and supported them. But when the banners and the slogans changed into attacking our regime, this is where something went wrong there.
His Highness Sheikh Salman said this very clearly to everybody. He said, basically, I think, all sections, all segments, all sectors, I don't want to even name them, because I think it's wrong to even say this is black and this is white. We're all Bahrainis, we're all good people. And I think, in my opinion, everybody wants a decent living, dignity in his life. Everybody wants, whether he is this religion or that religion, whether he's sector or that sector, everybody wants a house, everybody wants a job, everybody wants to be treated with justice, and all of these demands are common to everybody. So I don't know why somebody is taking them and the other one is. But if you look at it, if you sit down and talk, then obviously both of us will say, hey, look, we're talking about the same thing. Why are we fighting? What is it that you want? You want a bit more in this ministry or in that level or in that place? I don't understand why, because that becomes now no more the subject of the people. It becomes the subject of individuals who are interested in certain positions and certain agendas, which is really terrible. I mean, I hope the political leaders will understand that we should put our political agendas aside and think of the smallest cell, which is the family. Two people, a kid or two kids, their education, their well-being, their health, bringing them up, making something out of them, and become part of a country called Bahrain in love. Second, GCC, part of a GCC, then part of the Middle East, and part of the whole world. This is how we should be thinking in my books. And I think we can achieve it. By the way, we're probably doing it, but we don't know we're doing it. And yes, you need a house. Of course, everybody needs a house. And I would also like to say that it's not only the government's place to give people houses. We should be giving ourselves houses, and we should not think anymore of politics. We should apply ourselves. We should be working. We should be delivering messages, and we should be building a community. We should be building a society, and then we build a country.
Mm-hmm. That's all it takes, really, to build.
Takes.
And I like something else that you said. It's easy to build. It's not easy to build, but it's easy to destruct.
It's very easy. I mean, you know, you put a little fire in a building, within seconds it's gone.
Yeah.
Build it, 3-4 years. Live in it, another 3-4 years. And you know, the issue here of even economics. Thank God Bahrain is a smaller economy. And I would say that, again, thank God that there is a lot of wisdom in and I mean, you know, since I came to Bahrain, people should understand that 40 years ago and where Bahrain is right now is a big, huge difference. When I came, there was only one hospital, one important hospital, Salmaniya, and that was almost that was it. Today, the country is the health services in the country are not perfect. I'm not saying, but where is it perfect? Where in the world is perfect? Education is not perfect, but many more schools and many more universities and many more opportunities for education. And where is it perfect? Not even in the not even in Scandinavia. There is always room for us to improve. Always room for us. You know, I read a figure the other day. I'm not going to give you a lot of figures, but I mean, I read a figure the other day that only 3.8% unemployment in Bahrain. What are we talking about? In Scandinavia, it's 5%. Which is the ideal country. Supposedly, it is the country to live in. And you know, it does not really require us to have an upheaval. It requires us to, of course, aspire to eliminate it completely. Mm-hmm. You know, even the 3.8 who are not employed are taking a salary or are taking some kind of an income from the government till they find a job. What more can you do? So even the new laws and the business community has accepted to tax itself, to put more money on itself, to help grow the economy, grow the employment, and avoid this problem. Demands? There are new demands. Of course, there are new demands. And if you don't demand, then you're not living. Only dead people don't demand.
That's what democracy is all about.
That's absolutely correct.
We'll take a short break, Akram, and I'll come back to more elaboration on the reform process and the major steps taken by the government this week to ease people's life. In the year 2001, Akram, 98.4% of eligible voters in Bahrain voted on the National Action Charter. It was the start of the democratization process in Bahrain. It's just been 10 years. Do you feel that in these 10 years there have been many changes made, and those who jump into conclusions, and what do you say to those who jump to conclusions and say that nothing was achieved in Bahrain during the past 10 years?
Well, first of all, I think the national institution, if you really go through it, and I've gone through it because I voted for it. Mm-hmm. I became lucky to become a national, a Bahraini, and a proud Bahraini, and it was my duty to read it before I vote for it. So I think it is world class. It does, as time goes, require to look at it and look at some of its. But there is no, in my opinion, obstacles, or there is no issues in it that makes you alarmed, if you like. I think, and everybody voted for it. I mean, 99 point whatever percentage have voted for the national constitution. So I believe, but I don't think it is the problem. I don't think the national. I mean, this is probably a reason given by some to say that. But you know, when they voted for it, I'm sure they knew that they were voting the right way, and I'm sure, and they could
That's
not have.
Just 10 years ago.
And 10 years ago, and to say that in 10 years nothing has happened or nothing is happening or whatever it is, I think they also know. Those people who are saying it, they also should know and should be fair to themselves and to their own, first of all, right to vote and voting. They should be fair to that because they made a decision. And number two, to be fair to really put down and actually, I'm not going to name them because I think they should name it to themselves. They should sit down and say, in year so-and-so what has happened and how much the country has moved forward. And I tell you, it's a different country. It is really, truly. And I'm ready to sit with anybody on one-to-one basis and show him how it is a different country. Mm-hmm. It is by far a very impressive achievement. Not small strides, big strides. The parliament, the new even choice of ministry and ministers and how they're working and it's an improvement that is beyond description. So, not that I also would like to say that even when I came first, I was impressed with the government. Do you know that the best legal system in the GCC, and I always say the GCC because this is our community. We are part of an important community called the GCC. By the way, the British are proud, even if they don't have the currency in the EU, to be part of an EU because it gives you fundamentally a stronger blend, a stronger machine to work with, a stronger community from which to move forward. So I would say that probably the best legal system that exists is in Bahrain. I mean, this is why I have 77 companies around the Middle East, and they're all registered in Bahrain. And I have branch offices everywhere else because I trust the Bahraini law, and I don't even trust the Lebanese law to that level. So even the company that I have in Lebanon is actually owned by the Bahraini company. It is this is how much I believe that we have a superior quality of, and justice is the beginning of everything. Because if you're just with yourself, you're just with your children, you're just with your family, you're just with your community, you're just with your country. And my thinking is, so I would say that we have done a lot. And I'm not going to mention them again. And everybody knows them. But anybody who really doubts them should sit down and really go through them one by one, and he will see year after year after year after year how much has been done. More can be done, of course. But you know, who is perfect? No
one is perfect. It's a young democracy.
If we are perfect, we're dead, I think.
Yeah.
You know, you improve yourself as you go on year after year. And if you want to improve the country, you sit down and talk about it. Say, hello, I want to improve the country. And everybody will sit down and work with you. Yes, you're right, we want to improve it. Then we can start have a productive, if you like, engagement, a productive conversation, but to be each one isolated in one corner and not to talk, where is it going to take us? I don't understand.
Nothing.
Nobody is weak, nobody is strong. Force never worked. Civil wars around the world has never succeeded, and they have never given anybody but destruction and poverty, true poverty.
Don't you feel that what's happening at the Pearl Roundabout is the biggest proof of what democracy has given people, freedom of expression, to name the least?
You know, I definitely. But I think you know, this is a demonstration of how much tolerance a government can give, and I hope it will not be abused, because tolerance is the most important. But tolerance takes two. I need to tolerate you, you need to tolerate me. I tolerate you for whatever reasons, whatever beliefs you have in, and you tolerate me for whatever beliefs I have in. You can argue your beliefs, I can argue mine, but I don't become in your way, and I don't step over your freedom. But I think, you know, the Pearl has become a bit, it needs to be looked at. I mean, I think they could have justifiable reasons, but they should be properly probably communicated and talked about, and then sat down with all the members of the community, because all of us have the same demands, including me.
I passed by the road where the Bahrain Financial Harbor is last night, and again, by last night I mean the 7th of March, in case this episode is rebroadcasted. It hasn't just been at the Pearl Roundabout. I saw tents at the Bahrain Financial Harbor. What can you say about that? Isn't this targeting your country's economy? You raise banners and slogans saying Bahrain comes first, but where does Bahrain come when you are trying to harm it?
I honestly don't. I hope we're not trying to copycat other countries. I hope we're not trying to copycat
not
other
other
countries.
countries.
Because other countries have totally